All right, so today's lesson is going to be over domain and range. So when we talk about domain and range, domain is always going to be your x values. And when you have a point, it's always x comma y. Talking about this first value, it's going to be the x-axis, x-axis. All right, then we have range. Those are your y values. That's going to be your second number in the point. It's going to be that, if you're talking about the graph, it's the line that goes up and down, the vertical line. That's your y-axis. All right. And then you have closed points, which are going to look like this. A closed point in a graph. We'll go over that in a little bit. And you get these kind of inequality symbols. All right. Then you have an open point, and it gets those ones. This means you do touch the point. All right, you touch it. This means do not touch the point. Okay? And infinity is represented by this little symbol. That's positive infinity. Then you have negative infinity. Then, of course, arrows. Arrows just means the function keeps going, which actually means infinity. So, our first actual example is the graph of the function is shown. What is the domain and range of the function? So first we're going to focus on domain. All right, domain is your x values. If we look at our graph keeps going all the way to the left and all the way to the right. If it keeps going all the way to the left and all the way to the right, what is my domain? Very good. Your domain is all real numbers. And we can actually write that as negative infinity to positive infinity. All right. So look at my answer choices. Can A be an answer? No. Can B be an answer? Yes. Can C be an answer? No. Can D be a possible answer? Yes. So then now we're going to talk about range. Range is your y values. What is our lowest y value of this U shape? What is my lowest y value? Very good. It's going to be -1. So, and I know my graph it's facing up or facing down. Very good, it's facing up. So we're going to go to positive infinity. So my range is -1 to positive infinity. Now the thing about this is this an open point or a closed point right here? Very good, it's a closed point. If it's not open, we assume closed. And when it's a closed point, I forgot to tell y'all this. When it's a closed point, you get brackets. When it's an open point, you get parentheses. So on this -1, is it going to be a bracket like this or parentheses? Very good, it's going to be a bracket. And then we can never touch infinity, so infinity will always get parentheses. So, knowing this is my range, looking at the answer choice B, can B be my answer? No, very good. Looking at D, does that look correct? Yes, very good, y'all. Very good. So going on to our next example. It says the graph of the function is shown. What are the domain and range of this function? I want you to try this one. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to try it. Just try it at your own pace. But remember, you remember that a closed point gets brackets, an open point gets parentheses. All right? And remember, arrows mean infinity. So go ahead and try this problem. Very good. So going over it real quick, we have domain. Our farthest left value is going to be infinity, domain. We always go from left to right. Is infinity, comma, what's my farthest right value? 1. Our farthest right value is 1. And then infinity always gets parentheses, and this one is a solid point. so it gets a bracket. Then we have range. Range is our lowest y value, which is 0, right here. 0 is our lowest y value, to our highest y value, which is infinity. Remember, infinity always gets a parentheses, and since this is a closed point, it'll get a bracket. So, if you got it wrong the first time, now looking at the answers I just gave you, what would be the best answer? What would be the best answer? Very good. It would be... Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah, in domain, I made a mistake. Sorry, y'all. So, if the graph goes all the way to the left, that means this is negative infinity for the x values. So that would be negative infinity. So this is very easy to make a mistake on, but if for domain and range left, that's negative infinity. Hold on, real quick. We're going to go up here. I'm going to draw it out so y'all can take a picture. So you have positive infinity for y's, positive infinity for x's. Then you have negative infinities for x's and negative infinities for y's. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. So the correct answer to this question would be C. All right, so the graph of the function is shown. What is the domain and range of this function? Looking at this graph, we have, we'll do domain first. We have our domain, which is left to right. So our domain is left to right. So you have -3 and 2. That -3 is on an open point or closed point. Very good. So does it get a bracket or parentheses? Very good, it gets a bracket. How about that 2? This 2 right here, is that an open point or closed point? Very good, open point. So does it get parentheses or brackets? Very good, it'll get a bracket. So then let's look at our range. Let me put domain right here. Domain. So range. That's our lowest point to our highest point. So what is the lowest point of our graph? Very good, -5. And what's the highest point of our graph? Very good, 4. So this -5, is this an open point or a closed point? Very good, closed, so it gets a bracket. This 4, is it an open point or a closed point? Very good. It is a closed point, so it gets a bracket. So given what we just worked together, what would be your best answer choice over here? Very good, it would be B. Remember, you have to make sure everything's correct. So on A, this parentheses and this bracket were wrong, and those parentheses were wrong. And then we didn't have any infinity symbols here, and then these were reversed. So that's not good either. All right, so, we need Desmos for this one. This next one, what are the domain and range of the function? We have a function right here. Anytime you're given a function, I want you to immediately think Desmos. We're going to plug it into Desmos. So let's go to Desmos. Y equals, then for our square root symbol, you're going to go to functions, then miscellaneous, and you have the square root symbol here, and you're going to type it in right here. X minus 2 plus 3, enter. Okay, so for this one, it's right here on the actual screen. See it? So y equals x minus 2 plus 3. So if we draw this real quick, just to help us, if we put a point right there, let me see, can I do it? No. I'll have to actually think 2, go 2, and then 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and you draw it, okay? And it keeps going forever. If you zoom out, you see that blue line never stops. Like, it keeps going forever, forever, forever. It's never going to stop. So if we're thinking about domain and range, you have domain, which is your x values, left and right. So our farthest left x value is 2. And then it keeps going forever, 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 all the way to infinity. So we have x. X is getting bigger than 2. Then we have our y's. Our lowest y value is 3. Oops. 3. And we know our y values are going to go up because the arrow is going up. So y is getting bigger. So looking at your answer choices, what's the best answer? Very good. It's going to be B. So, next example. What are the domain and range of the functions? Blah, 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 blah. So, what would be our first step with this equation? What would be the first step of the equation? Very good. And then the thing I need you to notice is this one looks different from this one. Okay? They're different. The thing that's different is this 3. So you have to pay close attention to that. So here's what you have to do. You have to go to y equals, then you're going to go to functions, just like I said in the last one. You're going to go to miscellaneous and see this in square root. Then right here you can type 3 and type in the rest. X minus 4 plus 2. And then you see that the graph keeps going on both sides. It keeps going all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So if we draw it out real quick, we know it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. And it keeps going. So, if it keeps going all the way to the left and all the way to the right, what does that mean if we have 2 arrows? Very good. All real numbers for a domain. And then let's do range. Our range is up and down. We have an arrow and an arrow. What does it mean when we have 2 arrows? Very good. Range is all real numbers. So what is my best answer choice? Very good. D. That's it. Oh, wow. Okay. So drawing of the day, the best time of the day. I got it this time. I even thought about it beforehand. Not really, but y'all know me. If you don't know what it is yet, it's okay. How many legs? Oh, I should have done it the other way. Okay, we're getting there. I think they have multiple eyes. I don't know. Now, if you know anything about Clark Kent, this is supposed to remind you of him. My drawing skills have become so much better now that I've been doing the drawing of the day. And this is all black. I think it looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. What did Miss Fisher draw today?